Hey guys, welcome back. If you remember a few months ago, several months ago, I made a video about a little modification I did for my choke. I had a little stainless steel wire going through here. I had a little keychain ring here, and it would go to another ring back there, and it would go over to my choke knob, and I could just pull this, start it up, and once it builds up vacuum, it automatically moves the choke over. So it was able to just pull that string up and everything was wonderful. Well, somehow that cable got a little kink in it, and it was hanging on that back, on the back ring back there, and it didn't have enough vacuum power to move that choke lever over on its own. So it was running rough, and I finally figured out it was trying to run on half choke because the choke wasn't going all the way over. And I would have to jump back there, move it over myself. Well, I'm getting too old for jumping up in the back of my truck. So I went this morning to the local True Value hardware store. They sell a lot of lawnmower parts. They sell the wheels, the spindles, the blades, and they had a big selection of these choke cables. And so I just found one that I liked. I chose this one because it's already threaded here, and it's got a little nut and a split washer. So I'll be able to drill a hole right here. And the reason why I'm doing it here instead of over here is this is very long. So to take up the slack, I'm going to have to go back there at the back and snake around and all that kind of stuff. So it's actually going to come out about right there, but it's going to be, you know, right there. I'll drill a hole right there, feed that through. But you can see how this operates. You just pull it out and it goes in. So what I'll do is pull it out, start it back up. Push it back in. Now, my Outlaw is the first generation, so it's got that kind of choke lever. And it's my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, because I haven't seen one of the new generations that's got the O2 sensor. But it's my understanding on that when you have to manually put it over on start position, start it, and then manually push it over to the run position. Well, that's fine if it's sitting down on the ground or if you got it on the trailer, on the wheel kit, you know, or something like that. But when it's in the back of your truck, you don't want to have to keep jumping up and down in there to do it. So I think this modification can work for both of them. Now, I'm going to have to do some engineering on the back to get this accomplished, but I'll show you that in just a minute. But again, I got this cable at the local True Value that sells a bunch of lawnmower parts, and it cost me 16 bucks, and we're going to make that happen. While this is on my mind, I know there's about 5 or 6 of you guys that have the new generation that has the carbon monoxide monitor on there that has failed, and they don't sell the carbon monoxide little sensor, and you're just kind of stuck because it won't run. There's a guy on one of my videos that made a comment that he had that problem and he was able to bypass it. So I wrote him back and I asked him to please make a new comment about that and let us know how he bypassed that, because I know a lot of you guys need to know this. And again, I don't have my hands on one of those new generation machines, so I can't figure it out for you. But if any of you have figured this out, please leave a comment. Let us know how you do it, because you're going to help about 6 of your fellow subscribers. But so let's get started on this project, and I'm going to go ahead and drill this hole, feed it back there, and then I'm going to show you what I have to do in the back to get this accomplished. Okay, so this is the back side of it, and this is my choke lever. You see how easy it moves. I don't know if the second gen are like that, but my original cable came through this little hoop and came, and I've got a little hole that I drilled in the end of this, and it would just suck it over. And then once the engine's running and it's got vacuum, it automatically just closes that. So I've rerouted this new cable, and you can see it's got this little crooked end on it. So what I'm doing is I'm putting this through that hole that I've got drilled in there. Now I want to make sure that my lever is all the way over here on the run side, and I've already looked at my cable and I made sure that it's not going around you know, the muffler or anything like that, and it runs right up here by the fuel tank. You know, everything's out of the way. So I'm ready to put this on. Now my intention, I went over to one of my customers is a garage door company, and so I went over and I got a couple of sticks of this stuff, and I was gonna see if there was a way that I could mount this in here, but it was kind of getting in the way of this latch to take off the air filter. So until I can come up with another way, zip ties are your friend. Now, I'm going to zip tie it to this hoop over here, and I'm also going to have to zip tie it around this latch so that it doesn't come out of that hole, because it does need to stay on there for open and close. So I got to make sure that I got that super tight. And the best way that I know of to get your zip ties super tight is to use a zip tie gun. And these are super simple to use. Let me see, it's kind of hard to do this and to show you. But what you basically do is you put this on here like this, and then you squeeze this, and it keeps adding tension on there. So I've got to do this. I can't do it in a way that you can see, but you're just going to have to trust me. So I'm just going to put it on there, and I'm going to give this trigger a couple of pulls. And once it's on there as tight as it can go, it automatically breaks it off. So I'm not going to trust that. I'm going to do a couple more. But first, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put one around this little ring right here that I had on there for the steel cable that I had, or the stainless steel cable that I had on there, because I want that to be tight. I wonder if I've got that Okay, so here is my stainless steel cable that I had on there. And you see I got that little ferrule crimped on there. And this went through that hole. And then this went over here through that little eye. But somehow this got crimped right here and is crimped right there. So the little vacuum pressure that was in the choke wasn't quite strong enough to overcome those kinks, so it wouldn't move it over. I'm going to put a couple of more on here because I don't want this thing to move, because if the outer shroud of that cable moves, then it's not going to pull this in and out. So you got to make sure that this part, the outer part, is stationary. And I'm going to see if I can put one more around that, around this one, just to keep it nice and tight. All right. I'm liking that so far. All right. I'm going to zoom in on this. So keep an eye on this part right here, and I'm going to go pull the choke lever. Let's see what it does. Did it pull it? All right, let's see if this is enough to make it start. All right, so this is moving over, but let's make sure it's moving over far enough to choke it out so that it'll start. All right. I think we fixed it. Okay, well, there we go. I think this deserves a monster. I like the way it turned out. This choke knob is pretty impressive. I like that a lot. I don't know if this is my permanent solution. I know this is. I don't know about the back. I'm going to work on trying to come up with a more permanent solution than a bunch of zip ties, because you know, over time with the heat, those are going to start cracking off anyway. So I'm going to keep working on a better solution for that. But for now, it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's doing what I wanted it to do. Pull this, start it, press it in. Can't get any easier than that. And like I said, I think this will work for both this generation and the newer generation, that you have to move it back and forth on your own manually. But $16 for the knob, you know, a couple of zip ties, We'll see what needs to be modified later, but I'm happy with how it turned out. Cheers. Have a good weekend.